Hi, I'm John Stewart, Chief Investment Officer of Farmers Trust Company. This is the Investor's Edge.
The Investor's Edge, Market Insights with John Stewart, is brought to you by Farmers Trust Company.
Hi, I'm John Stewart. Welcome to the Investor's Edge. First up, the week in review. Commodities go wild on Russian escalation. Now, in our last episode, Russian posturing was keeping stocks on edge while sending energy prices higher. In the past couple of weeks, the Russian invasion of Ukraine has sent those same dynamics into overdrive. The price of a barrel of oil soared more than 40% in just 2 weeks, briefly touching $130 a barrel, which is a level not seen since 2008, before easing back just a bit on hopes that OPEC would start to increase supplies. And it's not just oil. Plenty of commodities have seen prices rise substantially. The price of gold touched $2,000 an ounce for the first time since 2020. And in one day last week, the price of nickel went up 90%. Now, at this point, we're starting to see these inflationary pressures start to impact the economy and economic growth. And going forward, it's going to be interesting to see with the Fed meeting this coming week whether or not they're going to allow higher prices to continue in order to try to protect growth, or whether they're going to try to be more aggressive in tightening monetary policy, perhaps at the expense of growth, and looking forward, potentially putting stocks in a position of further weakness. For this week's featured insight, can you get out? So when making investment decisions, most people really only consider what the potential return is, what's the upside on the investment before they buy. Some people actually consider what the risk is, or what they might expect to lose if things don't go according to plan. Fewer still actually have a plan for how they will exit an investment if things don't turn out as expected. When making decisions, we always should ask ourselves how reversible they are. If things don't go according to plan, can I get out? Now, there may have been some investors that actually decided to take a shot and buy Russian stocks on the turmoil that's been going on recently. Now, that may not have ended up being a prudent decision just because obviously sanctions took a huge bite out of the Russian stock market. To add insult to injury, Russian stock index funds actually halted trading and have not opened since. So even though investors may have made a bad decision and lost money, at this point, they can't even get what money they have left back out of that investment, and there's really no expectation as to when those markets may reopen. Now, this is obviously an extreme example, unprecedented really, but there are plenty of examples of investments that have difficult liquidity conditions in terms of putting in place restrictions on investors in terms of how easy it is to exit an investment. So when making an investment decisions, you really need to do your homework, not just to figure out how attractive the investment opportunity is, but if things don't go well, how easy is it going to be to get your money back out? Looking ahead, more of the same. It seems we're always looking ahead to find out what the Federal Reserve Bank is going to do or say next. Perhaps that's because they've ingrained themselves so deeply into the functioning of financial markets. Like it or not, that's the world we live in. Now, I had mentioned earlier that the Fed is going to be meeting again next week, and in all likelihood, they're going to be raising their key federal funds rate by 0.25 percentage point. This is widely expected by the market. What's going to be more interesting is what they have to say about the future going forward. Now that we're starting to see some evidence of stagflation, that is, rising inflationary pressures and slowing economic growth, the committee is really going to need to thread the needle to convince the markets that it can handle the inflation problem without undermining the economy and, by extension, the stock market. Once again, I'm John Stewart. Thank you for watching The Investor's Edge.
The Investor's Edge, Market Insights with John Stewart, is brought to you by Farmers Trust Company.